Alright, let's do a little video update, shall we, on what's happening. Um, this is what's happening. There's my motor. And oil inside the intake, pouring out of the intercooler all over the place. So the engine was overheated and a lot of damage on the other parts, alternator and stuff I've got to redo too. So yeah, you know what, I could almost put myself in there. So, awesome. We'll get back to you shortly.
Is she fixed? Okay, good. My dogs aren't fixed. They're not new. One's already too old to be new anymore. He's like 13, 14 years old. There ain't no sense in doing that now.
No. Yeah, I went and bought him some banana splits, and she was sitting on the ground with a banana split. I sure put she handed her the spoon, and the dog licks the spoon. She got it. Dipped it in her.
That's what's cute.
My wife was all like, "Oh my gosh."
Hello, Mother.
Yeah, it was funny.
And this is our mechanic, Mr. Joe. Awesome. And that's Snickers.
Thank you.
Good Sunday morning, and it is a beautiful Sunday morning. It's rainy, it's cold, it's damp and dreary, and I'm stuck in here. But that's okay, because as you saw in the video from yesterday, the truck is being repaired. It's going to take a little while to get it repaired because of all the damage that was done to it. The driver totally abused it, and has cost me right now just short of $10,000. So be very careful when you put a driver in your truck. And then I figured today, or over the next couple of days probably, I would just kind of introduce IFTA taxes to you on how I do it, how to calculate it, and so we'll probably get into that here in just a little bit. Other than that, we are at a standstill at the moment still. We're looking for the right driver, and I think because of the first jackass that really screwed us up, the right driver this time is going to have qualities that well, obviously we can't find very easily. The other problem that we're having with trying to find a driver is they're demanding a guaranteed $1,000 to $1,500 a week, which, you know, is their prerogative, but it's not a practical application to what we do. If we were in the oil field and they wanted to run their ass off, that wouldn't be a problem, but we're not, and most people don't want to run their butts off, and so that's not a possibility. $1,000 to $1,500 a week guaranteed is just not a possibility. You know, $1,000 a week is definitely average, probably, but not as a guarantee, because things ebb and flow in this industry, as you very well know. And so, you know, we keeping looking for a driver. We're keeping to look for a driver for David's truck. Getting my truck fixed, so I need to put a driver in that as well. Now I'm working with another individual also, Rami. Rami is brand new to the industry. He actually contacted us and basically wanted me to work for him, which I don't know if that's exactly going to work, but I will be happy to share with him all my information and help him get set up, and hopefully we could have a mutual relationship between him and I, where we can both make some money, because being out here by yourself in a situation like I have found myself is just it's not 100% proactive. It is it's disheartening sometimes, because you know, you have your own limitations and you know what to do and you know you want to do it, but sometimes you got to have help. And in this particular case, I've got David on the one side that's trying to help, and now I've got Rami on the other side that's trying to help also. That's where the truck is, at Rami's house. And you know, him and his brother or brother-in-law, they're actually tearing it apart and getting into it. And they tore the motor out and opened it yesterday, and it can be rebuilt, and so we're going to go ahead and do the rebuild on it. Besides the rebuild, because the engine got so hot and was being abused the way it was, there's also additional damages on hoses and wiring, and alternator and all that shit overheated and is melting or melted. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace all of that. And basically, Mr. Joe yesterday told me that he believes that my truck can be 100% back in service with 0 miles on it, so to speak, because it would be like a brand new engine. He's confident in his skills. He's done it all his life. As a matter of fact, this engine is very easy to him from what he normally works on. So he normally works on big tractors and you know, dozers and shit like that with big ass engines, and he rebuilds those all the time. He says this is nothing. So we'll see. Did go ahead and well, okay. Alright, well, that's about all I got at the moment. I'll probably go over a little bit of IFTA a little bit later. Okay? I appreciate you guys keeping me in your thoughts and keeping me in your thoughts. And that's all I can think about right now. So, peace. Alrighty, so it's time to do IFTA. And this is what it looks like here in Texas when IFTA sends you your taxes. As you can see, I haven't opened this yet. I figured we'd do that together. Ah, yes. So basically, what happens is you get 2 sheets of paper. Both of them need to be filled out. That to record your mileage and your gallons per state. And then this would be your summary page. And it would indicate down here at the bottom what you need to pay or what your credit is. So I need, I'm going to go make some copies of this because I don't like writing on the original because I do mess up a lot. 2 things I'm going to need to do the IFTA taxes. 1, I need the mileage of the truck in every state that it was driven through. We have something called an IVDR that the driver of the truck will fill out every time they go out on a trip, maybe once a week for a hotshot truck or whatever for big trucks, but it's the same thing. They do the mileage, what state they're in, what route they took, their ending mileage when they went out of the state, and then of course over here has the mileage for the particular state. So I give Mother all these, and then she completes monthly, quarterly, and annual mileage IVDRs, and that's what I need to take the information from in order to complete this task. So basically what we'll look at is our quarterly, and this would be our quarterly report right here. And down here at the bottom it shows the total for each state. So that's the first thing we're going to need. Okay. And then step 2, I've got to go pull the fuel off the computer so I can have that here, and then we'll put it all together. So give me a minute, I'll be right back with you. Alright, so again we have the quarterly mileage report and the fuel thing that we just did. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to take the second page of the IFTA thing. Remember, this is the first page, this is your summary. So go back here to the second page, which is your worksheet. At this point here, you will see the states that you're authorized to be in with your IFTA or whatever. Even if you go in additional states, you'll just add them on down here. You would put your total miles that we have driven. Non-IFTA miles, if you go into a non-IFTA state or whatever, that would be additional. But since everything is on our main mileage, that's what we do. So we get the total mileage, and then we look over here and we get the total amount of gallons consumed, and we come up with an average. So I'll put that on there in a second and show you the average. So you've got your mileage and your gallons, and you're ready to start the first step to completing your IFTA. First thing you need to do is to put how many miles you went in the quarter. If you go through a non-IFTA state, that mileage is put here. You then add both mileages together to come up with your quarter mileage of 10,058. Then you look at your fuel and you calculate how much fuel you used in the quarter. In this case, it's 1,287 gallons. Take your mileage divided by your gallons to come up with an average fuel economy for your truck this quarter of 7.82 miles to the gallon. You have to have your average fuel economy in order to complete the rest of the IFTA form. Okay, in the next step, we're going to come over here and look at the states that we've ran in, and we're going to put the mileage that we ran in that state for the quarter. And up here it says taxable miles. That's going to actually be the total amount of miles that you run. So we're just going to copy that number over to this next column, and then we'll get on to the next step. Now, here's where we're going to find out whether we owe or are owed by the different states. First of all, Oklahoma, let's calculate that first. 593 miles. You want to divide that by your average fuel mileage, which is 7.82, and that's going to come up with 76. So we're going to put 76 right there, and we're going to do that for each one of these. Divide the total mileage by the fuel economy to determine how many gallons we need to have purchased within that state in order to stay 100% tax-free. So after we have that, we're now going to go back to the next column and put how many gallons we actually purchased in each one of these states. And then we're going to offset that on this column by totaling it out. So as you can see, I've added the gallons that we've purchased in the quarter, and then I subtract the first line from the second line. And whenever you have parentheses around your number, that means there's a credit, or you purchased more fuel than you needed to. So in Arkansas, we purchased 18 gallons more than what we needed. In Louisiana, we needed to purchase 78 more gallons. New Mexico, we didn't run in. In Oklahoma, we needed to purchase 58 more gallons. And here in Texas, we actually, for our mileage, purchased 119 gallons additional that we did not need. This is a good thing because it's going to offset the total amount of taxes due. So now all we got to do is take our number, multiply it times the percentage for that state to come up with our tax credit or tax due column. We'll do that next. So now we have calculated our tax credit or our tax. As you can see, 18 gallons over what we needed to get times the percentage gives us a tax credit of $4.05 for Arkansas. In Louisiana, it looks like we owe them $15.60. In Oklahoma, it looks like we owe them $7.54. And then Texas owes us $23.80. So basically what you do is you copy that number all the way over, as long as you don't owe any interest or penalties. This column here can be 0. And now all you got to do is total it up at the bottom, and you'll know how much your credit, tax, or your credit or tax is going to be for your IFTA. Okay, good news, after you add all of that up, it's a $4.71 credit. So what you do then is you take the second sheet, that would be the first sheet. You want to write your credit up there at the top. Total due, other fuels. If you don't do anything else, there is no other fuels. So your credit is $4.71. Do you have penalties? Are you late on your filings? Do you have other problems that you need to pay? That would go up right where those two zeros are. Added down is $4.71. And then again, you just put $4.71. That's going to be the amount of overpayment, I think it says. Now, if you look at that right there, it says I have $7.16 credit. And I have that because of this. When I have credits in a quarter, they actually hold the money, so that way if we ever have to pay another state, it comes out of our credit first before we actually have to do cash. So that $4.71 is going to be added to the $7.16 for next quarter. And all I got to do is sign it, date it, put it in the mail, and mail it, and be done with it. So that's how I do IFTA. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Bye.